Welcome to episode 3 of my WWE fantasy. After I had completed and uploaded episode 2, I changed my mind and decided to continue for at least one more episode. So far no one has listened to any of these episodes, but that doesn't matter. These files should stay online for a long time. I could be dead before these are read, but that doesn't matter. As long as one person benefits, I haven't failed. In my little fantasy, my wrestling persona is mute. He can't speak. My hope is that someone else who is actually mute and desires to express himself on YouTube can see how they can do it. They may not have the power to speak, but they can have the power to express themselves to the world. This process is not perfect, but it might be the start of something good. My previous attempt to overcome my speech problem was to create a text document, convert it to a PowerPoint file, and convert that file to a video file that could be uploaded to YouTube and then viewed. I had to use a very large size font. I also had to add directions how to read the file using the play and pause buttons to page through the document. If I use this method again, I would set the PowerPoint program to change the length of time a page is displayed to about the time it would take most people to read it. Depending on the reader's speed, there still may be a need to progress to the next page or to turn back a page. Okay, back to my fantasy. I have been dealing with the problem of being too squeamish regarding the violence in the wrestling matches. I haven't watched any matches for a week. On the positive side, I've regained a lot of the time I had been spending each week watching the matches. I still check a site so I can read the results and become aware of any injuries. WWE is not the only one being plagued by injuries. AEW has its problems. According to what I have seen, AEW fired one of its ladies due to a concussion problem. I am more concerned about the injuries to the ladies than I am to the men. It sounds sexist, but that is just how I feel. If I had a wife, sister, or daughter in the business, in my present situation, I would not be able to watch such a match. From what I have been told, there are TVs where the wrestlers can watch the matches. I might be able to watch the other men wrestle in regular matches and possible the women as well, but not the women in risky matches. Basically, I would make myself available if anyone wanted prayer before a match. I'm not talking about holding a Bible study or anything like that, but a short prayer for things to go as planned and without serious injuries. I realize there are people of different faiths and possibly of no faith within WWE, so I would not pressure anyone. I would simply make myself available. Of course, I would pray by myself for those who did not want me to pray with them. One morning in my imagination, I was asked a direct pointed question by Northern Lights, actually with the voice of the woman I am identifying by that name. She asked me if I loved Cara Cara. I had to pause before answering her. We Americans often use the word love in different ways. We often say we love pizza or ice cream and so forth when we really like these things very much. When you talk about love as feeling about a person, that is a different matter. I suppose all languages have several different words that we translate as love in the English language. I had been told a long time ago that there are several different Greek words that are translated to English as love. One of them refers to unconditional love, the highest form. The second is affectionate regard or friendship or brotherly love. The third is love in a family sense, such as parent and child, or siblings, or other family members. The fourth can be a romantic sort of love, or sexual passion. The fifth is self-love. The sixth is guest friendship or courtesy shown to those who are far from home. The seventh is playful love, which could be playful affection between children or casual lovers. I've been told the first three forms are found in the New Testament while the others are not. The last three forms I had never known before a web search today, so I did not have them when the question was posed to me, so I could not refer to them. I wanted to give an accurate answer. I had already determined because of the age differences that I would have to symbolically adopt all the ladies collectively as my grandchildren, so I would not consider romance with any of them. This was important to my emotional health. No one wants to risk his affections being unaccepted. Selfish of me, but it protects all of us. I know there are women who might have such feelings for an older man. We were not related, so that eliminated another possibility. That left two things to consider. I chose to say that I did love Kara in the first sense because I didn't expect any love to be returned back to me. I love her in the sense that I want her to have the best in everything, her career, her health, her relationships, and anything else she desired. Okay, time to put my handkerchief away. I got a little emotional there. My current favorite TV program is called God Friend Me. It is in its second season. Great writing and acting. If you are not regularly watching this program, you may not understand what I am saying in this episode or in any further ones that I might or might not make. I often find myself knowing something that is going to happen before it actually happens while I am watching a new episode of a TV program. This happens to me more on this show than on others. There is a spiritual aspect to this show that sometimes relates to me and my life's decisions. This week's episode is number 9. Miles is the main character. He and his team each week receive friend requests through Facebook. The account is under the name God. Miles is an atheist and calls it the God account. The rest of the team members, currently the girlfriend of Miles named Kara and the best friend of Miles named Rakesh, who is a computer genius, seem to go along with the idea that God himself is not behind the so-called God account. I do not whether or not Kara or Rakesh believe in God. Full cast details are on Wikipedia. In the previous episode, the team get a friend request for a man named Gideon. I have to digress a moment because I just checked the web, looking for the meaning of that name. One article gives the meaning of his name as he who cuts down, which refers to his cutting down a shrine to a pagan god. But what followed sent a chill up my spine. The article stated he won battles through skillful planning and faith rather than strength. That somewhat describes the method of my wrestling character persona. Miles apparently had been appointed to fulfill the mission that Gideon had chosen to abandon. Gideon was told if he chose to accept the calling, he would have to sacrifice everything to walk that path. That meant he would have to sacrifice the woman he loved. Unlike Miles, Gideon believes God is behind the account, and so he is grooming Miles as the next prophet. The writers made a big mistake with the dialogue where Miles responds to the idea he is supposed to be the next prophet. Miles says he is not a prophet. The writers seem to have forgotten the name of the podcast which Miles produces, The Mill-Nile Prophet. During this episode, Miles faces the decision to choose between Kara and the God account. He talks to his father, who had been pastor of a church but is now the Bishop of New York, and discusses his dilemma. His father suggests the idea of giving up love is a test, referring to God testing Abraham. Again, there was that chill up my spine. This is related to the situation I would be facing in going to the WWE. Will there be a 4th episode of this journey, or in reference to the ongoing storyline to God Friend Me, The Path? Maybe. After I see the next episode to the program,